Institution, the original location at Crestline, newest location in Edgewood. Great food at both from Rodney Davis. Been doing it for more than 35 years. Award-winning wings, great sandwiches like that Diablo sandwich, burgers, fantastic chili for the winter. You're going to absolutely love it. Get a little side of grilled cheese there. Some of the best ranch in Birmingham at Odie's Tavern. Live music on Fridays and Saturdays, and every Wednesday night, Odie's Team Trivia. Me, Brown, Will Haver. Get into one of those two locations today. It's Odie's Tavern.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
Looking for a great place for that boring meeting? Leave the office and go to the Golfus. What about corporate events like board meetings, sales meetings, customer appreciation events? How about the Golfus? Watch parties for football and basketball, parties for birthdays or couple showers. The Golfus is a great place for those. The Golfus has Birmingham's best golf simulators and man caves in Vestavia on Highway 31, opening soon in Trussville and on Highway 280. Bring whatever you want to eat or drink, even bring your own clubs. Get out of the office. Go to the Golfus. Book your spot now at thegolfus.com.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
At Academy Sports and Outdoors, we believe the best holiday fun happens out there, on the driveway with a new basketball hoop, out back around the fire pit, or up in the deer stand. No matter your fun, we've got it. The right stuff at the right price. Academy, have fun out there.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemphill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemphill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemphill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemphill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Just because you've quit going to the gym, it doesn't mean that you have to quit gym altogether. Dunaway, that is. With our Next Round podcasts open 24/7, 365, you can access gym anytime you'd like. While you may have done away with your treadmill routine, our version of Dunaway is standing by ready to get you back to your absolute best. Find all that lovely Jimmy D-led content on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and in the podcast section of nextroundlive.com. This message is sponsored by Jimmy Crypto Inc. and Jimmy Crypto for President.
This hour of the Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Hey, this is Matt Roth, the franchisee of Walk On Sports Bistro in Birmingham. With the kickoff of football season, come visit us at one of our 3 locations, Stadium Trace, Greystone, or Trussville. Come enjoy our scratch kitchen menu while watching one of our 80 TVs. Whether you're looking for a pre- or post-game celebration, game day, or date night, we've got you covered. It's all about the win at Walk On Sports Bistro. Walk On, where everybody needs a little playing time.
Hang out with the Next Round on the go. Whether you're driving to work, running errands, sitting on the beach, or you just need a break from the real world, we can keep you company. Check out the Next Round, Mystery Fifth Hour, and our other shows on your favorite podcast app. We'll meet you there.
From the creators of the Next Round comes 2 new sites, covercrimson.com and thebarnauburn.com. 2 team sites with the same excitement and information-driven content that you get every day on the Next Round. Live daily shows, recorded shows, free of charge, plus premium content with insider information starting at just $1. And it's the perfect gift for the Alabama or Auburn fan in your family. CoverCrimson.com or thebarnauburn.com. Sign up today.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com, for the latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Hey, hour number 2 of the Next Round LTD&B with you. Tyler and Forrester behind the glass, EG and Taylor Korn working up here as well. Little T with us on social media at Next Round Live. Everything there. Go follow, like, and subscribe. Thumbs up if you're watching the show right now. We're about to get your reaction from the mybookie.ag chat room for a big part of this segment. Josh Pate's already been with us. You can get Josh Pate's interview podcasted, Apple and Spotify for your audio folks. Apple and Spotify there. Like and subscribe. Or on social media. A lot of cuts go out all here at Next Round Live. This hour of the show being brought to you in part by our friends at Rodney Scott Barbecue. Tell us about Rodney Scott.
Yeah, great place for lunch or dinner. 2 locations, Trustful, also downtown Homewood. Stop in and enjoy some of the best ribs, wings, chicken, cut to order just like you like. Those great southern sides and desserts. They also want to remind you, with Christmas coming up, you can still order those spatchcock turkeys. You can go to RodneyScottsBBQ.com. They serve James Beard award-winning barbecue. Support local this holiday season. Rodney Scott's Barbecue, locally owned and operated. Again, for more information and to pre-order, RodneyScottsBBQ.com.
And our friends at Ghost Energy brings you Who Got Ghosted. It's Alabama football, 1 spot out of the college football playoffs. Ghost Energy, Ghost Hydration, authentic flavors, 0 sugars, no BS. Look for Ghost Energy and Ghost Hydration at all retailers that sell energy and hydration drinks near you. It's our friends at Ghost Energy. What are the folks saying today, Brown?
MyBookie.ag chat room. Tony agrees with you, Dunaway. He liked all these proposed playoff brackets that we had all along. Every time we would show one, we'd be like, man, it's gonna be so good. He points out, now that we get here, we don't have a single game that's less than a touchdown point spread.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't get caught up in the point spreads as much as some, but that is a true statement. We don't have a single game where Vegas thinks it'll be less than a touchdown.
I look at this.
I'm still right about that, right?
No, you're right.
Yeah.
I look at these opening round games. Am I excited for Ohio State, Tennessee? Yes.
I am, yes, 100%.
A little less. The next matchup for me is probably Notre Dame, Indiana.
Yes.
Indiana, Notre Dame. Probably because I want to see what Indiana can do with Notre Dame. I don't think either one of those teams can win a national championship. I do think the winner of Ohio State, Tennessee can. I look at Texas and Clemson.
Wow, you think Tennessee can win a national championship?
I think the winner of that game can win a national championship.
I think Ohio State definitely can.
I don't think either one of them will.
Yep.
But I think the winner of that game can. I look at Texas and Clemson, and I don't see a team that can win the national championship there. I've seen Texas in person now, and let me tell you, Quinn Ewers made some NFL throws on Saturday. I mean, he puts the ball in places.
That's why he's so frustrating. And you guys didn't get to hear the broadcast, but Herb Street was bringing up the fact that he just gets confused on some easy reads.
Yeah.
And so some of these turnovers are kind of baffling. It's almost, God, I hate to bring him up because he killed me a perfect day yesterday. Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense because Ewers has got all the talent in the world, but some of the simplest mistakes.
It's sort of like your point on Alabama football. Their highs are so high and their lows are so low. He does. He looks so confused sometimes, and I don't want to question his IQ, his football IQ, but I think Sark serves it up on a platter to him sometimes, and 2 things happen. Either he doesn't make the right read quick enough, or his offensive line lets him down.
Oh, there were some play calls from Sark on Saturday that were just incredible, and I think that's the problem. Like, do you really believe Ewers can win 4 consecutive games?
I
in
don't.
this field.
I don't.
Yeah, I don't either. I think their defense is good enough, but I think if you really do what Kirby and Georgia did on Saturday, and that's focus on stopping the run, 31 rushing yards for Texas, if you can put it in Ewers' hands, he's going to make some mistakes.
Yeah, then they started heating him up, Brown. They started blitzing, and I don't know if it was the offensive line, him, that wasn't putting him in the right protection, but they started getting to him. They started pressuring to him.
Sark's, I mean, his Mona Lisa play call was snapping the ball through Arch Manning's legs to the back. I've never seen that in my life.
And it was a great call because everybody.
You have. I'll tell you where you saw it.
Where?
Backyard Nerf football.
Well,
we used to do it all the time.
But everybody thought Arch Manning was taking that right up the gut.
Yep, everybody.
And you know, it almost went for a massive play.
I mean, we looked at each other in the press box and were like, did Manning line up under the guard? How did they get that to the running back? And then you saw the replay, you're like, you got to be kidding me.
So I know y'all were away from, being in the press box way up. Well, maybe at this point you were. Were y'all on the field fourth quarter?
No, we stayed out.
Okay. We could have. We stayed up.
I mean, Gunnar Stockton, gutty performance. But when he thought he had a touchdown and got hit, I was like, dude, I just think that guy got killed on the football field.
Oh, you're talking about the shoulder to the helmet? Yeah.
Like, I just wonder how loud it was down there.
The groan in the stadium was just,
And you...
Yeah, I'd like to have heard it on the field.
Inevitably, when your helmet pops off like that...
Targeting.
I think people instantly think, wait, is his head still in it? Because it did look like he got decapitated.
That would have ended the game, probably.
Hey, so what is up with Carson Beck?
Well, and that I was about to get to that one.
That's a big storyline.
Yeah.
In that, I think Brownie, and I want clarification of this. Did Carson Beck come in for that last play because Gunnar was hurt, or did he come in on that last play?
His helmet came off.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a penalty.
It was. They talked about it in the broadcast.
His helmet came off and they wiped the penalty.
So when they wiped the penalty, he had to leave for a play.
Well, I'm sure you guys saw this. Carson Beck's arm is dead.
Well,
maybe it's only dead for a weekend. I don't know. But he wasn't doing anything except handing off and getting the hell out of there, and it was only one play and it was over.
So, Jim, I think Jim was still watching this. So he comes in.
Yeah.
Arm hanging down like this. You saw on TV, right?
Oh, I was screaming in the press box to you guys. Here comes Beck. I don't know why I was doing play-by-play for Brown and Barrett Sallee, but here comes Beck, and his arm's not moving.
So, hands the ball off. They score. The Georgia, and it's coming right at us where we're sitting at the angle, right? The Georgia people come flooding off the sidelines to celebrate, and Beck is doing this to them. He's holding his left hand up like, don't touch me. And I don't know if they showed it on TV, but a couple of staff members actually build a surrounding around him. They cordon him off so that people don't come up and slap him on the shoulder, hit his arm.
Hey,
that's how bad it is.
Dangerous speculation, but after that play to end the half, like when I saw the hit, it immediately went to the ball. But watching with friends, I was like, Beck is hurt. And then they circle back. And
he laid on the field a long time.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Dangerous speculation, but I think the arm's in bad shape.
And it could be, but I instantly started asking media friends, not media friends, people who work for universities who deal with the media. And I was like, okay, because I didn't think Georgia would win the game at that point with Beck out.
Yeah.
Gutsy effort by the whole Georgia team, including Stockton. I said, do you lie about his availability? Because if they went on to lose that game, would the committee use that as a bailout? Georgia loses. It's another loss for them. They're now a 3-loss team. They're a wild card team. I've got to evaluate them. And as the committee showed last year, without their starting quarterback, we put Alabama ahead of Georgia now, and they would put Alabama and SMU both in. That would have been an interesting debate how they would have played Beck's injury if Georgia had lost that game. Obviously, they're automatically in. They can't be penalized.
It's interesting because our man Greg from Pell City brought that up in a group text with us last week.
Yep.
Wonder if they were to lose Beck in game and lose the game, what happens at that point?
That's right. That was his scenario.
All bets are off because back to Jordan Travis and Florida State. I mean, look, there's precedent that had been set there. I'm like you. I would have checked my integrity at the door. And I would have said, I think he's going to be fine because, look, in your belief system, these guys will rally. We saw it with Cardell Jones. People said Ohio State in the first 14 playoffs shouldn't have gotten in with a backup quarterback. What do? They get in, they beat Alabama, they beat Oregon, they won a national championship. So if you are Mike Bobo and Kirby Smart, you believe we can get all these reps for Gunnar Stock, we can get him ready. But I would have said he's going to be completely fine.
So as we discuss this, Pete Nakos on 3 reporting that Carson Beck is injured his UCL.
Yep.
MRI today. We'll see.
He's done.
Yeah, just for a second opinion, for those that don't know, the UCL injury would prevent you throwing the football.
Yes.
Is that a problem?
Yeah.
It's not when Alex Orji comes in.
Yeah.
For Michigan.
Yeah.
So basically Carson Beck is down. Alex Orji.
Or Arch Manning.
Or Arch Manning.
Yeah, so it's a UCL injury, according to multiple reports, and they're going today for a second opinion, not a first opinion, the second opinion. So it does look like it'll be Gunnar Stockton's team.
It was
down the road.
huge they won that game now.
It was.
Because you think about if they're playing basically in 10 days with Gunnar Stockton, now you get the extra reps. Possibly if Carson Beck can come back, you get that extra time for him. But boy, man, if you flip that around and they had to take on Clemson this week with Gunnar Stockton, I wouldn't feel good about that.
Gunnar Stockton made an all-time terrible decision, though, and the DB needs one block, and it's a pick six.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And that's on his teammate who was pointing instead of blocking.
Right. And that game's over at that point.
It is. I don't think Stockton leads them to the win.
It is.
And the crazy thing is Kirby got away with it. And I guess when you have a couple of national championships, you can look back and say, I'm still remembered for this fake punt with Justin Fields, but let's do it again.
Hey, that was a good fake punt, though.
It was a great fake punt. I just believed at that point he didn't think the offense was going to move. So we've got to do something
That's
here.
right. At that point, you realize what I'm doing here is with Gunnar Stockton, and he played great. He sparked the offense. He sparked that entire team. And I just don't know if you can go to the well and they'll have the same emotions in the playoffs that all of a sudden they woke the team up in the second half. I think they were on their way to a loss if Carson Beck keeps playing.
Yeah, and look, I think Carson Beck, I know he takes a lot of heat because he has been somewhat inconsistent, but he is like
great throws too.
Yeah, he's like yours. He's one of those guys that can make the elite throws. And I just don't think Georgia's got a lot of weapons. I give ETN a lot of credit. He showed up. He played extremely well. But you had other guys, they're fumbling the football. Kirby's having meltdowns there. I don't think you've got playmakers at the wide receiver position. Could Georgia win this thing? Possibly, but without Carson Beck, I don't think there's any way.
DBs dropping wide open,
their receivers can't catch either.
And neither can their DBs.
Yeah,
poor Arian Smith can fly, but you know what? He can't catch it.
That was Brownie's and our joke in the press box when the Georgia DB dropped it. We were like, well, most teams you say, well, that's why he's playing DB, but at Georgia he could actually be a receiver.
That's right,
too.
yeah.
Hands of stone.
If he could catch, he'd be a receiver. Not in Georgia.
How was that atmosphere?
Well, that's interesting you ask. I didn't want to be this guy, Lance. I really didn't. I didn't want to be like, conference championship games don't matter guy. I still want them to matter. I just think the committee has given them too much emphasis. But there is absolutely, positively zero doubt, and you talk to anybody that was there, and I think they will tell you this. The buzz in that stadium 365 days ago when it was a must-win for Alabama and Georgia was number one in the country and probably thought it was a must-win for them too.
Well, it was.
It turned out to be, whether they thought it was or not. Versus the buzz that was in the stadium pregame, nowhere close.
Yeah, I would say, LT, Friday night, all day Saturday when Brown, E.G., and I were at Fanfare, all the way until about the third quarter, it was unlike any other SEC championship game I'd ever been to.
Not in a good way.
Not in a good way.
Yeah.
And then in the second half,
you know what woke it up was Gunnar Stockton.
It became very, very much a championship setting. The third and fourth quarter was as good a football intensity as I saw all year.
That's kind of how it felt at home on the couch, though.
And
the first half.
And that was because of you thought Texas was going to win the game, and there was no way Georgia could do it with Gunnar Stockton. And by God, they're doing it. They're doing it. And there was something about all of a sudden their backs against the wall. And at least for me emotionally, I bought into old school SEC versus Texas. Don't let them take this trophy back to Texas the first year. And then Georgia and the fact they were gutting it out, bandages on head, a fife, and a drummer walking out with Gunnar Stockton, and they won that thing.
Yeah, it was almost worst case scenario, though, for championship games altogether, because going into the SEC championship game, we had nothing but blowouts.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then the 3 o'clock, the SEC championship, the ACC, and the Big Ten, we had some excitement those games. But, man, if those would have gone the other way, like if it would have gotten away from Georgia and Texas wins going away, and obviously Clemson almost won going away, it would have been the entire weekend was blowouts.
Yeah, I would say, though, give me Tennessee's scenario, and I still take it over. And they got a tough first game, but
over who?
Over a lot of these conference championship games. I don't want to be Oregon. I
wouldn't want to beat Tennessee. Tennessee's got to beat Ohio State, and then they got to play Oregon, beat Oregon.
Yeah, so you think they're being penalized that they weren't one of the two teams in Atlanta? I'm just trying to.
I don't think there's any rhyme or reason to how this thing's laid out.
I'm just saying that I don't necessarily. I wanted my team to be there playing for a championship. I do, but Tennessee in the 8-9 game, that's a tough game. Could they have been higher sitting at home? I don't know. I don't know what I want yet on these championship games.
I think
but they're not dead yet.
Texas, to me, has got the best layout of this bracket in the SEC.
Yeah, I would agree with you. In the SEC, of the SEC
Yeah.
teams, yeah.
Yeah, because they would go Clemson, Arizona State.
And then it gets real, but it's going to get real in the
It's going to
semis
get real
whoever.
for somebody, at some point.
Yeah, I take Penn State's path over anybody's, especially now with Georgia's hurt that whole side of the bracket.
Dude, that's why nobody wanted to see Alabama in this thing.
Yeah.
I mean, look, Alabama, could they have lost to Penn State? Yeah, sure, because they're so inconsistent. But Alabama, at their ceiling, they walked through that bracket without Carson Beck.
Yeah, I agree with you. More from you in the chat room after we tell you about a couple of great sponsors. One of them, our friends at Academy Sports.
Academy Sports and Outdoors, excuse me one second, Jim, has all the great brands like Nike, Stanley, Brooks, Carhartt, Blackstone, Yeti, Titleist, Shimano, and more. Great place for Christmas shopping, especially that brand new location right here in Birmingham, Highway 280, 4610 U.S. Highway 280, the old Best Buy in the Target Shopping Center. It is Academy Sports and Outdoors.
So tomorrow, who is up for an IV? Hydrolife Therapy, Daniel Jones will be here. Tyler, you down for an IV tomorrow?
Sounds like I need one, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you do. You and Tom Brady both. They needed to get him off that broadcast.
Boy, that was
yesterday.
rough.
First of all, not very good.
I thought it was one of his best broadcasts,
Did you?
actually. I'll take a B12.
Okay, B12, IV,
Yeah, something.
IV therapy, B12 injections, cryotherapy, compression therapy, now weight loss therapy, all under one roof. Very important. Mention the next round, 20% off all of these incredible services from our friends at Hydrolife Therapy. You walk-ins are welcome, but you can book online, hydrolifetherapy.com. 2 locations, Homewood, also 119 in Greystone, Tuscaloosa location as well. Make sure you mention the next round. 20% off all those great services, great stocking stuff or gift card from our friends at hydrolifetherapy.com.
Yeah, I will tell you, there are times if someone who doesn't dress up comes to work dressed up, I'm always like, do they have a job interview? Somebody die? They got to meet the parents, something. Can I get Melton's microphone real quick? I don't know if we're going to be able to tell. When you watch the Meltdown today at 2:00, you'll be able to tell. I mean, you got a haircut, dude. That's you got.
I hadn't seen him yet.
Nobody passed.
Oh,
nobody
wow.
die.
No, nobody died
Yeah.
except for my former self.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, this is a new Melton.
This is a new Melton.
Yeah.
Well, he was sitting in the luxury suites at the Titans game yesterday, so maybe that was it.
Yeah.
Like, did you have to clean yourself
what
up?
a game, man. The Titans and the Jags.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Meltdown gets you into those luxury seats for all the big games.
Yeah, it was a great time, just horrible football on display.
Yep,
but
yep.
a really good time.
Yeah, but when you had the hat on, you walked in, I thought you had shaved your head.
No.
And just had the beard.
No.
Yeah, but you did keep. It's just a good looking haircut.
Yeah, I hadn't planned for this, and my barber said I had a vision.
Wow.
And you should go skin, and I went skin,
Yeah.
and here I am.
You don't
on
like
the air
it?
talking about it. No, I like it. It's just vastly different from what I was used to.
Yeah,
It'll grow back. That's good news.
Yes,
That's right.
absolutely.
You got plenty of hair.
Yeah.
I would like to say I'm a heterosexual.
You would like to say that?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can say it.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
I-
it's not against the law.
But I probably slide closer to metrosexual. Like I'm not the least manliest man up here, but I will confidently say I think that's a great haircut for you.
Well, thank you very
Yeah,
much.
I think
I
it's a great
appreciate
haircut
this.
for you.
It's quite the setup for a compliment.
Yeah.
It does worry me, though, sometimes, because your compliments sometimes are actually reverse compliments.
You've
No,
noticed
no.
that? You really, you've
Yeah,
noticed that with Jim.
sometimes,
Yes.
yeah. It's-
No,
yeah.
I think it's a great haircut for you. Really, really good.
Okay. I believe you. I'm looking
For
at you
you.
in the eyes.
For you.
Hey, and it will help you down the road in 15 years when you're bald.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're one step closer to Brandon Marcello that way. Works out good.
Oh, I don't think Melton's going bald.
You don't think so?
Nope.
Okay.
Thick head of hair for that guy.
Well, he's still young, so he can go Dr. B if he has to.
Yeah,
So it works
yeah. I
out
mean,
good.
we'll give you a heads up. You start thinning out a little bit.
A couple more from the chat room. We'll do 4 downs in our next segment.
Ball fan 205, you'd rather be lower than higher, and that's what I don't like about this. I'd rather they be 10, 11, or 12 seed. Ball fan says. He's in the 8-9 game.
Yeah.
I mean,
That will traditionally
if
that'll always to me be an SEC Big Ten matchup, it seems like.
probably.
I just can't believe Oregon's reward for being the only undefeated team, winning their conference championship and getting a bye, is the winner of Tennessee and Ohio
I know,
State.
and everybody it's like we're surprised we built this system, and that's what the system produced. You know, we built this system, and I've hated it all
But you're
along.
right, though. But every week we've looked at it and we're like, damn, I can
Yep.
get into that.
Yeah.
But this is the worst one we've seen.
I know.
Yeah, it is the worst one we've seen, and because it's the last one, it always works that way. But Brown, we never looked at the scenarios and thought the 1 seed had the toughest path.
Not the toughest, but you know I have always said we should not be giving buys to conference champions.
Right, we did. I'm okay with the auto bids, but I'm with you. I don't even want to guarantee them a home game.
Okay, that's fine.
They're just guaranteed a spot in the playoffs.
You can do that all you want.
And so, where is Clemson the worst team in the playoffs in the rankings? They're seeded 12 then. The next worst team in the rankings, they're seeded 11.
That would make a lot of sense.
And you build it up that way. And then that way it's a reward for Oregon at that point. But inevitably it's always going to be the 8-9 winner. And that's just where, unfortunately, the 1 seed is going to usually be SEC Big Ten. In fact, I'll go ahead and say the 1 will always be SEC or Big Ten champion usually.
And the 5-6 is probably going to be the team that loses that game.
But the 8-9 game is usually going to be
the third best from those conferences.
A really good SEC Big Ten team. So that's forever going to be a tough road for the 1 seed.
I don't know. I think, if we're probably going to get to 14 quicker than this will happen. But if you've got 12.
14 or 16 year after next.
And if you just laid out the 12 and you reseeded, I guarantee you we could get together over lunch and we could have an incredible bracket.
Yeah.
And I don't think too many people would be upset.
Well,
if you just give me those 12 teams, we could do a better. In fact, next segment, before we do 4 downs, take the 12 teams and do a better bracket.
You guys do it on your own.
But I don't have to follow the rules.
No,
it's our rules.
And that's the thing is
you can give any 4 teams a bye.
Yeah, they're handcuffed by too many rules.
It's really the way you live your life.
Yeah, they're handcuffed by too many rules. They've got too many teams they have to give a bye to, and too many teams they have to put in.
Yep.
So that's why when I graded them earlier, I didn't grade them real harshly. They're given this crap, and they're like, okay, make something good about it. Yeah. I mean, that's hard to do.
It is hard to do. I agree with him as a Tennessee fan. All right, when we come back, that and 4 downs, more reaction from the coaches in the final 90 minutes of the show. That's being brought to you by our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. 35 urologists, 16 locations. That means you've got a couple of great urologists at a location near you as you watch and listen to us here in Central Alabama. The phone number to call to make an appointment, 205-930-0920, 930-0920, urologycentersalabama.com. They treat all your urological needs from prostate health to kidney stones, vasectomies, and everything in between. Visit urologycentersalabama.com today to schedule that appointment.
Follow The Next Round on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Next Round Live.
At Academy Sports and Outdoors, we believe the best holiday fun happens out there. On the driveway with a new basketball hoop, out back around the fire pit, or up in the deer stand. No matter your fun, we've got it. The right stuff at the right price. Academy. Have fun out there.
Bright Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Hey, you. It's the holidays. Give cheer a lift. And at New Balance Birmingham, we got the gift. That holiday vibe? Find it inside. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham. We got now.
The beauty of the holiday is at the center of your table with the New York Butcher Shop. Their selection of USDA certified Angus prime rib roast, beef tenderloins, and fillets, as well as premium pork and lamb cuts, are the finest selections available in the market and are hand-cut just the way you want. With side dishes handmade by their professional chefs, your holiday meal is complete. Visit one of their 2 locations today, in Cahaba Heights or off Highway 119 in Greystone. Place your order today. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well done service.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Happy football season. At the Next Round, we strive to make our loyal listeners feel like they're a part of the action all season long. My name is Emily Grace McWhorter, and I do that by bringing you along for any given Saturday in Auburn or Tuscaloosa. From pregame warm-ups, touchdowns that make you feel a part of the play, and everything in between, our goal is to make you feel like you're inside Bryant-Denny or Jordan-Hare. Follow along on our social media at Next Round Live on Instagram, X, and Facebook. Also, check out thebarnauburn.com and covercrimson.com while you're at it. Here's to fall Saturdays.
At Academy Sports and Outdoors, we believe the best holiday fun happens out there. On the driveway with a new basketball hoop, out back around the fire pit, or up in the deer stand. No matter your fun, we've got it. The right stuff
Things
at the
fall
right
apart.
price.
There's even a book
Academy.
about it. But that
Have
doesn't
fun
mean you
out
have to
there.
break the bank to fix them. Ryan Brown here for the Next Round. Our friends at Mortgage Right have a new renovation option that will make repairs and other home improvements easy. If you've recently purchased a home and find yourself short on cash, or you're looking to buy a fixer-upper, Mortgage Right's renovation loan program can help you spruce up your space. Repairs can be made to your roof, plumbing, flooring, and more with the help of top-notch mortgage professionals. So get your fix by visiting mortgageright.com/TNR. And MLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
You could win a Cadillac CT5 or your share of $25,000 in free play and cash at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Play the latest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can be a winner too. Come win your share during the Cadillac CT5 and $25,000 giveaway at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Drawings April 5th and 6th. Located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older. Must be present to win.
Take TNR on the go with a podcast built for your satisfaction. Miss Hour 1, find it in podcast form. Miss Hour 2, stream it now. Miss Hour 3, download it for later. Miss Hour 4, well, just know it's never coming back. Listen to TNR wherever you find podcasts.
Back with you on the Next Round. New Life Art, Daniel A. Moore, who paints all the great moments in Alabama football history. And I instantly thought when Nolan Hauser hit that 56-yard walk-off ACC championship winning field goal for Clemson, I thought to myself, I wonder, do they have a Daniel A. Moore up in Clemson? Do they have somebody who would paint great moments?
Johnny T. Jones.
Because that's a kick for the ages for Clemson.
You just call it the kick, right?
That's what they probably would.
Yeah.
They could rotate around some Daniel A. Moore names if they want to. The kick. That was an unbelievable kick. When you have great moments in our state, DanielMooreArt.com, they paint them all, including the legend Nick Saban, 6 national championships in Tuscaloosa, DanielMooreArt.com. You can buy the latest edition from him, or you can pick up the calendar for the holidays using the promo code, the coupon code TNR. Gets you 20% off that calendar, which is great for the Alabama fan in your life. It's all right there at DanielMooreArt.com, DanielMooreArt.com. Okay, so you get a chance to lay the bracket out with these 12 teams, but with no rules. How good can you lay out the bracket? Who are your bye teams at that point?
Yeah, I'm working on my bye teams would be Oregon, Georgia, Notre Dame, and Texas. Again, we have no rules.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had not considered putting Georgia up there because they're or Notre Dame up there because they're normally not eligible. But without the rules, I mean, with the current rules eliminating the bye rules, I would have gone Oregon, Georgia, Texas, Penn State. But Lance makes a good point now with Notre Dame. I probably do pull Penn State out and put Notre Dame in.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And then if you were doing your matchups,
I mean, it's not great, but I think it's more equitable. Like I had my 5-12 was SMU at 12, Ohio State 5.
Yep.
My 11-6 was Clemson and Boise.
But shouldn't there be a blowout? The 5-12 should be a blowout game. It should be.
I mean, we don't want it to be blowout.
We don't, but we should be. That's the first
should
round.
Be a blowout, but it shouldn't be the toughest game in the bracket.
Yeah, but shouldn't that be 5-12 should end up being?
It should be the easiest matchup in the first round for deserving team.
I think it should be like the 4-13 in the NCAA tournament. 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10 times, it's going to be an easy win for the 4 seed. Occasionally a 13 will get the 4.
So do you guys have a problem with SMU Ohio State?
No,
that's the way I would do it.
I'm good.
Absolutely.
Keep going.
And winner's got Texas.
Yep.
Then my 11-6, I've got Clemson and Boise State.
Okay.
Yeah.
Boy, that's
not a great game.
Not a great game.
Yeah, and
winner's got Notre Dame.
This is EG is in the Sprite Green Room right behind this wall here. So hopefully she has sound down. When we redo this, I don't want to path for the group of 5. They've got to be in the top 12. And Boise, I think, may be there.
They would have been there.
Maybe.
Yeah, I agree with you, though.
Yeah.
I don't think
you
we
don't want
should.
a guaranteed spot.
Yeah. I used to want one. I don't want one anymore.
I don't want the group of 5 to have an automatic spot.
Well, I've never wanted it, so we're all on board now.
Yeah, I mean, I just believe without that brand, it hurts a matchup. I hate to say it, not because I'm an Alabama fan. It could be another SEC team, but just having another SEC team in this bracket makes the bracket look better.
My 7-10, you guys are not going to like the matchup, but I think it would be a really good game. Indiana or Arizona State.
That's a fun game, yeah.
And then finally 8-9, Penn State and Tennessee. Winner's got Oregon.
Yep. But even as you did it, you gave Oregon a tougher second round game than you gave the 2 and the 3 seed.
I thought about Indiana, Penn State for Oregon, but then you got a bunch of Big Ten right there. I mean, I guess you could do Arizona. I think Oregon would love to see Penn State again.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Why not? I just, the way we do this with those other teams in here, the Big 12, the ACC with 2, by the way, which weakens the bracket, and a group of 5, which weakens the bracket. That's why the path of number 1 looks harder than what you're going to get from the 2, 3, or the 4, because with the 2, 3, and the 4 the way it is, you're getting a lot of the 2 ACC teams, the very weak Big 12, Big 10, and then a red hot, but how good are they Big 12 team. If that's not who one gets any of those, I think the only answer that we can do this is reseeding after the first round.
Landmine Believer says reseed after every round. It is a little clunky.
Yeah.
Because people, I think, genuinely like to say, okay, if I win here, I get this, I get this, I get
But
this.
doesn't the NFL do it that way? Don't they reseed? I think they do.
Yeah, based on higher to lower seed. Yeah, they do.
They reseed.
It just feels clunky because we're used to looking at a bracket and knowing who I've got in front of me.
Yeah, but that's the way it is with the NCAA tournament, yes.
So you would
with
say,
the NFL playoffs, which is the closest thing we are to now, Brown, they reseed after the first round because you'll be watching and it's like, oh, if so-and-so wins, they go to Buffalo. But if so-and-so wins, they go to Kansas City.
So in other words, if Clemson pulls the upset over Texas, now all of a sudden Oregon gets Clemson.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
I mean, you could do it like that.
There again, you're having to play a team that was good enough to beat Texas, so I don't know that
it was so simple when we had the 14 playoff. Let me ask you guys this, though. I do think it would be easy. Oregon, Georgia, Notre Dame, but then who was the 4th team? I mean, good luck on giving me a 4th team.
We would have had a lot of drama yesterday because Texas, Penn State.
Yeah. Would have been
Ohio
Texas.
State, Indiana, Boise State.
Because now with Ohio State, Penn State, you're like, well, now, wait a minute, we got head-to-head.
Do you think it would have been Texas?
I think it would have been.
I don't know. They would have had no top 25
No top
wins.
25 wins.
Yeah. Well, and I'll go one step further. We've always been worried about watering it down. If you just made this into 16 teams, you're adding in these teams. Miami, Ole Miss, South Carolina, Alabama.
And you know what looks better then? The bracket does.
The bracket.
Yeah.
And we've always been worried about watering it down with too many in. 16 would have been a heck of a strong field this year.
And then at that point, you've got Oregon at home, still with a tougher route than some because Oregon's at home against the 16. In this case, it may have been South Carolina.
I don't think Oregon wants a bye right now. Their offense is really clicking.
Boy, they really were.
Yeah.
And it's something to watch with Penn State. Andy Kolenicki, the offensive coordinator, is a finalist for the West Virginia job. And we've never really seen it. Well, obviously, we've never seen it because we're not at the playoff. This game comes a little bit quicker. You've already had signing day. I guess if he gets it, he still coaches, obviously, in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's usually the way you do it. There's a guy who took a job.
Now that you've already had signing day, it helps.
Yeah, there's a guy who took a job that's going to coach his way through Penn State all the way through. Is that the one who you're talking about?
Well, it's Andy Kolenicki. He hasn't taken it yet. He's a finalist for the West Virginia job, the offensive coordinator. That is the best I've seen Franklin's offense look in one of these big games.
Yeah.
Normally, when he gets in one of these big games where he's playing a top 10 team, they lose because they score 10 points.
Man, if you would have told me that Katron Allen and Nick Singleton would have combined for almost 250 yards rushing,
You'd have thought they won the game.
They won the game.
Yeah.
It was 2 terrible turnovers from Aller was the difference there, and their defense just couldn't stop Oregon.
Yeah, but yet also 2 horrible turnovers from Aller, also the best he's looked.
Oh yeah,
against a quality opponent.
This James Franklin thing.
1 in 18. 1 in 18 versus the top 5.
I thought it was 1 in 15. Anyway, it's 1 in nothing really.
1 in a lot. Yeah,
and against the top 10's even worse.
You got to have some accountability there, right? Like if you are going to be if you're going to get paid like a championship elite coach, we're going to hopefully play in a lot of these games. You got to win some of them.
Good news for him, he doesn't have to play a legitimate, true top 5 team until the semifinals in this thing. He could beat 2 teams that are less than the top 5.
But he's bad against the top 10. I don't know what you consider SMU. They were 10th in the rankings, 11th in the seeding. So
yeah.
I don't know if that's a top 10 win for him or not.
I could see SMU win that game.
I could too.
Let's do our 4 downs, and then we'll get to some of the coaching carousel. Before we do our 4 downs, I'll tell you about our friends at Wada Wellness. Great folks, Leslie and her board-certified team. They take care of you. And a lot of you start thinking about it. You should think about it year-round, but December, truthfully, I'm doing it right now. Thinking about 2025, why I want to feel better, look better, live better. And I'm on the plan again at aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. And you will see my progress over the next few months of the weight I lose at Wada Wellness. Meal replacements and a great way of eating. They teach you all that, and they help you walk through it with board-certified professionals. And they've got the injection therapy there if you want to choose that route as well. Planforme.com, no contract, no sign-up fees. And the first consultation is absolutely free. It's our friends at Wada Wellness, your journey to healthy living. And 4 downs, brought to you by Slice.
Yeah, 5 locations. Stop in, see the Bajalia Brothers, the original Lakeview, Vestavia, Montevallo, Crestline Park, newest location in Edgewood, local pizza, local ingredients. For more information, slicebirmingham.com.
First down.
Which conference champion do you have more confidence in right now, Clemson or Arizona State?
Arizona State. Scattaboo's a heck of a player.
I think the Sam Leavitt, the redshirt freshman quarterback's really good.
Yeah, and you tell me you think who's a better conference, ACC or Big 12? I think it's Big 12.
Probably the Big 12.
Yeah.
Jordan Tyson being out hurts. The Guillory kid really made up for it.
And Tyson's not coming back, right?
He's not coming back.
Yeah. I think that's the difference in Arizona State having a chance to beat Texas or Clemson.
Dunaway will tell you, we were sitting in the press box Mercedes-Benz watching them dismantle Iowa State, and I was like, maybe that's not the 12 seed you want. That was at a time where, I'm thinking if SMU wins, they may be the 12 seed, Arizona State. Maybe that's not the 12 seed you want to see as a 5.
No. Because I do think there's something, LT, that's contagious about winning, and they've caught the winning bug. Can they recreate that in a month?
Oh, I think Dillingham is like a snake oil salesman in a good way.
Yeah.
Like he's got these kids believing.
How is that in a good way?
Yeah, that they are one of the best teams in all of college football. And I think, based on the way this thing's set up, with the inconsistencies of yours, or even if Clemson, was to get into that game, I think Arizona State could survive.
I respect that he knew, okay, if we win the Big 12 championship game, that photos are going to be in our media guides and on our wall for a long time. So he went traditional uniform.
That was a good uniform.
Had their good uniform on with Sparky on the side of the helmet. He was like, this is good. This championship's going to be on our walls for a long time, at least through next year. Arizona State is the answer. Yes.
Second down.
Which non-conference championship at large do you have more confidence in? Ohio State or Texas?
Well, I think Tennessee's going to beat Ohio State, so I guess I got to go Texas, though. I don't have a ton of confidence in the Horns. What's Isaiah Bond's injury, too? That's a big injury.
Yeah.
Is it?
Oh, I think it is.
I don't
he's
think
a good
it
receiver.
is.
You don't think Isaiah Bond's a big injury?
Their receiving core is so deep. It's so good. And Isaiah Bond, I just don't think is in on a lot of their biggest plays. He's in the game. I just don't think he's the go-to guy.
Yeah, I think Matthew Golden is more, and then Gunnar Helm, who really didn't have much of a game on Saturday, the tight end, but then you, out of nowhere, DeAndre Moore shows up. They've been all over the place.
Yeah.
Like, I thought Silas Bolden was going to be more of a factor for those guys, and Isaiah Bond.
Yeah. Golden is their best receiver to me.
Yeah, I agree with
that.
that.
He leads them in receiving. Yeah, the stats say he's their best.
And who's number 11 for them?
I think that's the DeAndre Moore kid.
Yeah, he had a great game.
Yeah, he did. I still think Ohio State, like the winner of Tennessee-Ohio State, I think is going to beat Oregon. I think the time off actually hurts Oregon.
It does. I mean, there's that is another discussion that will come out of this if that happens. LT is again not getting the bye and playing in 11 days, 12 days, and then playing again in 11 more days, and then having 9 days off may be a better path than having a month off.
Yeah, I agree.
We talk about it now in baseball a lot. That wild card series, having to sit a week and then coming back and playing with a rare 8 days off, 9 days off. You just don't get that in the regular season. There's something to that. A whole month off, that's tough to. Georgia wants it for their health, but if I'm Oregon, I'm with you. I'd rather be playing one of these easier teams in 11 days.
Third down.
First round dog with a better chance of advancing, SMU over Penn State or Indiana over Notre Dame?
I think it's Indiana over Notre Dame. I don't know that I like either of them. This feels like moment too big for SMU, though the moment in these situations is often too big for Penn State under James Franklin. But I think Indiana's got the better shot.
You know, in these basketball tournaments, that last team that squeezes in normally makes a little bit of noise.
Yep, that's right.
And you just wonder if SMU could be that team, because I don't think Penn State, I mean, look, they're good. I don't think they're elite. I don't think they're as good as a lot of people believe. So I do think SMU could beat them. You win that game. I mean, who is the better team, SMU or Boise?
Yeah. No, that's exactly right.
SMU.
I think it may be SMU, but we don't know that. But to your point, LT, SMU will be their game with Penn State will be used as an announcement to the world. The committee got it right or got it wrong, right? They'll be like, if they go there and they get beat by 2 touchdowns by Penn State, see, Alabama should have been in that game. If they go there and they win that, it'll be like, see, they got it right, man. But SMU belonged.
You got to be who you are if you're Rhett Lashley. But if you're in that game, you almost feel like you just throw everything. All the pressure in that game is on Penn State. Every single bit of it is on Penn State.
Yeah.
I mean, I go for every fourth down that's questionable. I run every trick play I got.
Truthfully, you play it like you did the second half against Clemson.
I think you do, Jim. I mean, I just throw everything at them. What do you have to lose if you're SMU? What do you have to lose?
Yeah, look, SMU has been an A++++
That's right.
plus season.
Yep, and all the pressure in the world's on James Franklin and Penn State.
But I'm going to go Penn State wins that game because of the same reason Clemson I thought would win the game handily. In the trenches, Penn State is better than SMU. Doesn't match up there. Indiana just may be a dang good football team. So I'm going to take Indiana as the answer.
Fourth down.
This might be a little tricky. Think about it. If you're drafting one player out of these 12 teams for a playoff run, who would it be? I'll go on to start. Ashton Jeanty would be my guy.
Yeah, Ashton Jeanty. If I put him with a top-end offensive line,
I mean, just imagine if he was running at Georgia.
Yeah. I mean, put him with a top-end offensive line there. Yeah, Ashton Jeanty is the guy I draft.
I mean, quarterback-wise, Dylan Gabriel would be my guy, but, man, I haven't seen a running back like Jeanty in I don't know how long. Long time.
I mean, you look at these playoffs through the eyes of the quarterback. These are not the best quarterbacks in the country. Dylan Gabriel's
said it last week.
Head and shoulders ahead of everybody else in the quarterback game.
I think that's the only guy you can really trust. Like, there's some good quarterbacks. Curtis Rourke has been really good. Riley Leonard's been really good. Kevin Jennings, outside of that first quarter, has been really good for SMU. Aller's a good quarterback. Will Howard, Nico has been playing a lot better. Ewers and Cade Klubnik's had quietly an incredible year for Clemson.
Yeah.
So those are good quarterbacks, but you've only got one I would consider elite.
Yeah.
So you really could get that Ohio State-Oregon, which I thought would be the national championship game in my bold predictions. They're now paired up where they got to play in the quarterfinals and likely in the Rose Bowl. And that ends up being maybe the two best quarterback, maybe the best quarterback matchup you get in the whole thing.
Oregon travels well. But if Tennessee was to beat Ohio State, more Tennessee fans than Oregon, right?
In the Rose Bowl? I can see that.
I would see that.
I think it'd be a 50-50, yeah.
Oregon does travel well.
Tennessee, I mean, they played UCLA out there a long time ago. But the opportunity to play a game of that magnitude in that stadium, they have not had.
Yeah, I'm convinced Ohio State fans are kind of like Alabama fans. They have like bottomless pockets when it comes to their team playing.
And Brown, have they laid out where those host teams or the bye teams will be hosting the games?
Yeah.
Is that the Rose Bowl for Oregon?
Yeah. Big Ten's always going to be in the Rose Bowl.
Because, Arizona State had a chance to be in the Fiesta Bowl. How funny would that have been?
I know. Yeah, Sugar Bowl, Texas. SEC's always in the Sugar.
No, because some years those will be semifinal games.
Well, as long as they're in the
quarters.
as long as they're in the quarters, that's where it always is. Yes.
And Boise's in the Fiesta.
Yep.
It's so weird. We've got these games on Tuesday and Wednesday because of the calendar layout.
I know.
So are you telling me Arizona State's where are they?
Arizona State is in the Peach Bowl.
Peach Bowl, okay.
Yep.
Because Cotton's a semifinal this year. Okay, good. I was about to say if they put Arizona State in the Cotton and Texas wins their way to play in the Cotton Bowl, that would have been Texas gets all the breaks, man.
I know. That's another needle they had to thread, though, worrying about stuff like that.
Yeah.
That committee is given so many parameters they've got to meet. It does become a little more difficult.
Was that a storyline over there, like going into the game, like people in the SEC that weren't Texas, were they all against Texas winning this game?
Yes.
Not the SEC officials, but the fans.
Yeah, the fans, absolutely, 100%. Don't let Texas come in and do this.
And that was the sign that on the dry erase board, one of the Georgia players held up. It says, "We are the SEC." And I think that was a rallying cry for Kirby. I really believe that. I can't wait to see his pre- and post-game talk, but it was my rallying cry. I know that.
Yeah, so what happens with Kirby calling Sankey out?
I don't think anything can happen.
I don't think he can.
I think everyone has already knows this. Now, Kirby was looking at it from a Georgia's point that they had to go on the road, and I think all year long we've all said, welcome to the rest of the SEC.
Right.
You're not in the East anymore.
Welcome to what Bama, LSU, Auburn, and all these West teams have been doing for years.
Yeah, since the 90s when
that's right.
When it was tougher in the East. But as far as the rest of the conference, I think any other coach would tell you, give me Texas's schedule than the one I had, and we would be in the playoffs.
Yep.
I mean, Ole Miss, South Carolina, Alabama, all tougher schedules than what Texas had. And by the way, the schedule release show coming up Wednesday night, it's just the order they're going to play in. We already know that it's just the return games of this year. So Georgia bitching and moaning about being on the road for all those games this year.
Guess what?
Guess where Alabama goes next year.
Guess where Ole Miss goes next year.
Guess where Ole Miss goes next year.
Guess where Texas goes
next year.
What a season ticket package, by the way.
Yeah, they're all in Athens.
Yeah.
Yeah, the crazy thing is before the season, we knew Texas had an easy schedule.
Yep.
Well, it played out, my man.
They're no top 25 wins in the freaking SEC.
Yeah, that's almost impossible. I think that was kind of Missouri last year.
Probably. That's Four Downs, brought to you by our friends at Slice.
Yeah, 5 great locations. Get in for a slice and salad today to start your week off. Pick up a couple of pizzas for Monday Night Football tonight. 5 locations created by the late Jeff Pajaya, his brothers Jason and Chris. Continue to celebrate his legacy. Get in today to one of those 5 locations. For more information, slicebirmingham.com.
All right, let's hear from some of the coaches, the reactions. Cut 3 first, Tyler. Josh Heupel, of course, he is the SEC school that has to go on the road and play in the Big Ten. You knew somebody would have to do it, so it is Tennessee that volunteered to do it. Here's Josh Heupel on playing in cold weather.
Not sure what the temperature will be up there at night. No, it won't be, sunny and 85. We played in 30-degree weather a week ago. For us, a lot of our practices are in the morning. We're outside. It'll be, similar temperatures to what you're going to get up there. Our guys got to be able to handle anything that comes at them. That's, whether it's outside distractions, it's, us getting ready to go be our best 11 on 11 between the white lines. And we'll be ready to handle that and operate at a high level.
Again, we'll make the point on this show that a lot of people don't talk about. Michigan and Ohio State have an agreement not to play November night games. They don't want to play in this either, guys.
That's right.
We act like Ohio State's dying to play a cold December night game. No, they try to avoid it on their schedule.
Yeah, but I think it's a little bit different if this is Tennessee or Florida we're talking about. Tennessee
if it were
seems,
Florida,
yeah, more equipped.
Yeah. I mean, it's like
if this is Texas, it's a little
It's
different.
like when the Dolphins, when they have to go into cold weather, it never works out.
By the way, almost a terrible loss for you guys.
Oh, you think Aaron Rodgers looked vintage?
Looking at the 10-day forecast at Weather Channel.
Okay, for Columbus.
Yep, projecting it out on Thursday night. So that's 2 nights before the game. It's a night game. 31 degrees at kickoff with a wintry mix.
Wintry mix.
So I don't know what it is.
Whatever that is.
Yeah, that's sleet and snow, right?
That sounds like my couch.
Oh wait,
is
I
a
do
better
have it all the
spot
way.
to be
No
in.
doubt.
Wait. No. It has changed.
Please tell me it's 63.
34 is the high, 24 is the low, and mostly cloudy. And I don't know if that means mostly cloudy, a chance of snow or what. Doesn't mention snow.
So it's going to be cold.
Oh, 9% chance of snow during the game.
That's nothing. So it's going to be cold. It's going to be a cold night game.
Yeah, 34 is the high. It's going to be below freezing for the entire game.
Yeah.
And 9% chance of snow right now. It's a long way away.
Yeah.
So if we get something that slows down or speeds up or a lake effect or something, maybe we'll get a snow game.
Again, keep in mind, Michigan and Ohio State agree not to do that in November, so they don't want this either.
Yep.
It's not like they're dying to play a cold night game.
Yeah, that's Josh Heupel, like him. Pressure on Ryan Day in that game. Give me cut number 4.
Oof, excruciating pressure.
Ryan Day finding out that, he lost to Michigan. Got to put that behind him and go on and fight to play the Tennessee Volunteers. Even Kirk Herbstreit says, probably be better if this team was on the road. Here's Ryan Day.
Everybody's journey is different to get to this point right now. We're here, and now we got to go play. And, there's been twists and turns and ups and downs, but here we are. And so, I think when you think about the opportunity that our team has to go do something like this, this would be an unbelievable accomplishment to go on a run here and go win the whole thing. You're 4 games away. It's real. It's on the table. As much as the last week hurt, it hurt. But here we are now. And so all the focus has got to go on Tennessee and winning this first one.
Okay, does it help him or hurt him that he talks about going on a run to win the whole thing? Or should he said, man, we just need to take this one game at a time?
No, because it literally going back to July, everybody knew it was all in. Like the expectation, if you didn't get to a college football playoff, was this was a disaster season. Much like the same thing for Penn State. Penn State fans were like, okay, let's see what Franklin can do now. We've always been right around it, but a 12 team, we should guarantee being in. Now Ryan Day and James Franklin, to me, have the most pressure, not even close. And for Ryan Day, winning 1 or 2 games is not enough.
Herbstreit's youngest son committed where, Brownie?
Michigan. Now, I don't know what kind of player that kid is, by the way.
26 touchdowns this year. I don't know either.
He's got a recognizable last name. Obviously, comes from good bloodlines. His kid that played at Clemson, they really didn't. Yeah, they didn't play a ton. So I don't know. It just looks weird, obviously, because it's Michigan.
And it's an Ohio State legend. So Ryan Day absolutely gets asked about what Herbstreit said, man. Would it have been better for you to be on the road? Herbstreit thinks so. Ryan Day gets asked.
Kirk Herbstreit said on the College Football Playoff show today that you guys might have been better off with an away game because fans could boo on a potential early 3rd down or 3 and out. What is your response to that? And what's your expectation and message to the fans ahead of this game?
Well, that happens sometimes on a 3 and out anyway, so we're good. We're used to it. No, we're fired up to be at home. We can't wait to be at home. It's going to be a great atmosphere, and our guys are fired up to go finish the season with a win in Ohio Stadium.
Yeah, I thought that was, look, Kirk is one of the best to do it, but I thought it was kind of a nonsense comment.
He was a little edgy to begin with because when they went to him, he's like, what Booger said was just low-hanging fruit. I think Herbstreit was on edge for some reason.
He didn't want to be on the show.
It didn't seem like it, no.
Yeah.
And he was in some random set somewhere. I don't know if that was a fake background.
Was a weird background.
I don't know if it was a fake background or what, or if he was in a locker room somewhere.
Yeah, but all he's got to say is, look, the atmosphere is going to be great. We've got the best fans in the world. Why would we not want to play in front of them? I think that's the difference in the game. Like, if this game was in Neyland, I would lean Tennessee. I think Ohio State will win this game based on it being in Columbus.
That sound, we'll get some others from other coaches involved in this. More reaction to Alabama not being in coming up in the final part of the show. That's being brought to you by our friends at Inverness Country Club.
And by the way, this will be the best defense Nico has seen all year long.
Yeah. Underrated defense. You're exactly right.
Inverness Country Club, just a fantastic place. Maybe you relocated or retired. It's a great place to meet others in the community, great place to network. Find your sense of community at Inverness Country Club. They've got memberships that will fit everyone, from the social to the golf membership. Best days happen in Inverness. Childcare is also a big plus. Dinner with friends, knowing your kid is safe on site, massive plus. Take a tour of this unbelievable club. Call Aaron today, 205-991-8608, or online, iccalabama.com.
And ring the bell. It's 11 o'clock. That means the doors are open at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster. Ding, 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 ding. Come on in. What do you want? 2 big breasts? We'll drop them right now. Cooked to order. Fried chicken that's brined overnight. All the great sides. Mississippi Delta recipe tamales and so much more. Sterling's the man. Champy's Chicken's the place to go when you got out-of-towners in town for the holidays, and they want great Southern fried food. It is Champy's Chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster. Final hour next.
Follow LT on Twitter at thelancetaylor.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. On game day, you never have to decide which teams to watch, only what combination of bites, burgers, wings, and more to order. Plus, where else are your favorite draft beers always poured at a frozen 29 degrees? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stick around after the sun sets. Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with bourbon and late night bites. Only at Twin Peaks.
Let's face it, a home is one of the most powerful assets you can have, and our friends at Mortgage Right want to help you build wealth through home ownership. Mortgage Right is all about providing competitive rates, a variety of loan products, and a multitude of resources for a seamless home buying experience. They treat their borrowers like family and are always looking to bring more happy homeowners under their roof. See more by visiting mortgageright.com/TNR today and start living. That's mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
From the creators of The Next Round comes 2 new sites, covercrimson.com and thebarnauburn.com. 2 team sites with the same excitement and information-driven content that you get every day on The Next Round. Live daily shows, recorded shows, free of charge, plus premium content with insider information starting at just $1. And it's the perfect gift for the Alabama or Auburn fan in your family. Covercrimson.com or thebarnauburn.com. Sign up today.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live is dedicated to giving you daily news conferences and practice video from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and around college football. Follow and compare to the sites you used to visit. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Daily Show. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. See more at nextroundlive.com.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on The Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at The Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000. The beauty of the holiday is at the center of your table with the New York Butcher Shop. Their selection of USDA certified Angus prime rib roast, beef tenderloins, and fillets, as well as premium pork and lamb cuts, are the finest selections available in the market and are hand-cut just the way you want. With side dishes handmade by their professional chefs, your holiday meal is complete. Visit one of their 2 locations today, in Cahaba Heights or off Highway 119 in Greystone. Place your order today. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
Looking for a great place for that boring meeting? Leave the office and go to the golfus. What about corporate events like board meetings, sales meetings, customer appreciation events? How about the golfus? Watch parties for football and basketball, parties for birthdays or couple showers. The golfus is a great place for those. The golfus has Birmingham's best golf simulators and man caves in Vestavia on Highway 31, opening soon in Trussville and on Highway 280. Bring whatever you want to eat or drink, even bring your own clubs. Get out of the office. Go to the golfus. Book your spot now at thegolfus.com.
At Academy Sports and Outdoors, we believe the best holiday fun happens out there. On the driveway with a new basketball hoop, out back around the fire pit, or up in the deer stand. No matter your fun, we've got it. The right stuff at the right price. Academy. Have fun out there.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Final hour of the show, more fan reaction from you guys. Just to recap, Carson Beck has a UCL injury, according to reports from multiple sources, including On3 Sports. Second opinion today, could be done for the season. Right elbow, throwing elbow, a UCL injury usually means surgery for him to be able to throw the football down the field. Gutsy for him to come in, take that snap, and do the handoff. Had to be painful to take that snap with that injury coming into the game there. Also, Alabama missing the college football playoffs. A lot of reaction to that. Future scheduling, we'll talk about that coming up in reaction. The show being brought to you by our friends at CPAP Plus, the great folks there that are helping you with a great night's sleep.
I saw my man Joe O'Neill yesterday watching the playoff committee's selection show, and we talked about the great business that they've got there at CPAP Plus and all of their locations. You can visit the O'Neill brothers, 3 different locations, Pelham, Highway 280, Trussville, with hundreds. 5-star Google reviews. Trust CPAP Plus for all of your CPAP needs. CPAP Plus, where every night matters. Stop by today. You're going to find the best service and equipment, all in stock, ready for you. Very important. Mention the next round, $20 credit towards the purchase of a new mask system, CPAP cleaner, even a travel CPAP machine. Get into one of those 3 locations today. Go see the O'Neill brothers. And again, mention the next round.
Alabama scheduling. You've heard Kalen DeBoer mention it. Greg Byrne is outspoken. Nick Saban was outspoken, not just about Alabama, but specifically Alabama on the show, about if we're not going to value strength of scheduling more, what is the benefit for us playing tough out-of-conference games? It becomes all about the conference at that point. Y'all's thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, again, I think, I can't remember which of you made the point, but if Wisconsin had been Indiana, I think it might have been the difference.
Yeah, it was Dunaway that brought that up.
If Wisconsin's Indiana, their one loss is at Ohio State. They beat everybody else. They're in the playoffs themselves. Indiana's not, Wisconsin is. Is that enough to flip Bama over ACC runner-up at SMU?
I think it would have been. Now, again, the discussion's kind of moot because they're out of conference. They won all those games. That is what's interesting about this. But what I'm told right now, and a 3-loss team wasn't able to get in. So you do roll the dice if you're playing this SEC schedule, and you're going to schedule these because you don't know how good these teams are going to be.
Like the only reason I think it gets forgotten a little bit, Jim, is the only reason Alabama was even in the discussion. Alabama does not factor into this yesterday, if not for strength of schedule. Now, again, it's on the conference level. Alabama's non-conference strength of schedule is not impressive.
Yeah, this year it didn't matter. Like, if you would have played 3 Mercers, I don't think it mattered.
But if Alabama didn't have the strength of schedule they had, they probably don't jump Miami last week. So they're not even factoring into the discussion yesterday. The only way they were even in that discussion is by jumping Miami last week when Miami lost to Syracuse. Without strength of schedule, Alabama, I don't think, does that with 3 losses.
But if you take Alabama out of the mix, the reason Ole Miss and South Carolina are where they are, too, is strength of schedule inside the SEC.
Right. Again, now this is conference strength of schedule, which you don't control. Texas didn't control it, and Texas is a 5 seed primarily because of conference strength of schedule, which sucked. That's the reason they're the 5 seed. They played a good team twice and lost both times.
Yeah.
And they're the 5 seed.
I think they got some credit for Michigan on the road.
I guess. I mean, Michigan they're in the same bowl as Alabama, but they're not at the same level as Alabama.
2 hours plus in, and we haven't even talked about Alabama's bowl matchup because you know what? Nobody cares.
And they're playing Michigan, by the way. It's a historic,
I mean, that matchup last year was incredible.
Yeah. No, it's a rematch of last year's semifinal game. I think the TV partners probably had a little something to do with the pairing, that you send Alabama to Tampa to play Michigan instead of to the Citrus Bowl to play Illinois. South Carolina gets that.
I mean, the most interesting thing about that game is how many people opt out.
Oh, it's already started.
Yeah, I mean, Alabama's is.
We can roll through the opt-outs, but it will be
portal guys. Yeah,
it will be a lot of the. It will be a lot of what we saw with Florida State last year in the Orange Bowl.
Yeah, I would be surprised if Ty Simpson's not your starting quarterback.
Oh, I would.
Jim, you look like you're going to make it a lock.
Yeah, I was going to say a digit. I may almost go let's go left hand. I use my right hand for a lot to write.
Well, you're not wearing your watch. We could cut right there where it's white.
Yeah, we can
cut on the tan line.
Right,
it's a good aim spot for you, Lance.
Yeah. I mean,
there's
no
we could
reason
cut
for
your
him
left
to
hand
play.
off if Milroe plays.
You know,
why would he?
I saw what you said about South Carolina yesterday, and one of the reasons South Carolina was chosen maybe over Alabama is they are going to treat this bowl game like Missouri did last year against Ohio State.
Yep. Yeah.
Remember, Ohio State had number 22 starting at quarterback. Missouri was going all out to win that 10th game and to beat a brand, or win that 11th game and beat a brand. That's what you'll see from South Carolina.
I mean, and they're only playing Illinois, but for South Carolina, they will travel. They will be excited to be in this situation. They're on the uptick. For Alabama,
would you lay whatever there?
I would. South Carolina minus 1,000.
Yeah.
Have you looked at the point spread at MyBookie?
I have not looked at any bowl point
I can
spread.
find it.
I would tell you that Ohio State is going to be a 9-point favorite. I think Alabama's probably 8 or 9 over Michigan.
Now, I haven't seen an Alabama one because I think they're waiting on
the
opt-outs. But I'll see if they've got one up on who was I looking at? South Carolina?
And Michigan will have some
opt-outs. Here's a Bama line. Bama's 11.5-point favorite at mybookie.ag.
Boy, I would say, anybody out there, grab it right now. Put in that initial deposit next round and get all the Michigan you can get, because that number is going to do nothing but go down.
Yeah, South Carolina also an 11.5-point favorite over Illinois.
Yeah. Tell them about MyBookie while you're giving those lines there.
Yeah, so listen, here's what's going on at MyBookie right now, mybookie.ag. We were giving you a bonus for the casino. A lot of you like that, but then a lot of you are like, man, I also like the bonus for playing the game. So you know what MyBookie said? Let's just do both, okay?
That's right.
So we're going to do both. So it will require some explanation as we get going. Normally, we just give you one redemption code, but we're going to let you pick. So TNR Casino, our next round casino, gets you the 300% casino bonus up to $2,000. You make your deposit, 300% casino bonus up to $2,000 when you use code TNR Casino or Next Round Casino. Code Next Round remains for playing right there in all the games. That's a 50% bonus up to $1,000. So 300% in the casino when you use TNR Casino or Next Round Casino. If you just use code Next Round, 50% bonus up to $1,000. That's right there at mybookie.ag code Next Round, mybookie.ag code Next Round.
Yeah, all that with our friends at MyBookie. So if you're Alabama, I don't change the scheduling at all. I stay the way it is.
Well, I think a couple things. Number one, I don't assume that every committee is going to approach it like this committee. And number two, I don't assume we're playing under this system much longer. You're not going to be. Now I would say this.
I also don't think Alabama football will be playing the way it played this year.
Okay, I do want to see a 3-loss at-large before I completely dive in. I do think it's knee-jerk based on this one-year situation, but I really believe 3 losses, you could still get into a 12-team playoff if you were one of the best 12 teams in football, which, in my opinion, again, I don't think they necessarily deserve to be in, but Alabama is one of the 12 best teams in college
football.
football.
So if we go to the CLAT system, out-of-conference schedule means absolutely nothing for anybody. You can play as good a one as you want or as bad a one as you want.
They could be all made for TV games at that point.
It's all about your conference standings in the CLAT system, which actually I would like in that system.
For those that missed the CLAT comment last week here on the show, that would have been a Saturday this past weekend of number 6 South Carolina playing at Tennessee. Winner gets into the playoffs. Number 5 Ole Miss at Alabama, the 2:30 game, with the winner getting into the playoffs, and then Georgia and Texas in Atlanta for the SEC championship. Winner gets the bye, and the loser gets a home playoff game. Those would be the 4 teams, and you play your way in, and it would just be by SEC standings at that point. And there are some people that believe we're going this way. I personally believe that the way this turned out this past weekend, and I don't know who all's on the committee, Brownie, if you want to pull that up and tell me who they represent.
Okay.
I believe what has transpired with the SEC just getting 3 teams in, that the ACC, the Big 12, the Group of Fives, the D2s and D3s have just cost themselves some money. I believe the SEC partnered with the Big Ten are about to go a little scorched earth on future playoff layouts because.
But do you think the Big Ten's upset about something?
They're not upset about anything, but they will partner with the SEC because they are the two superpowers.
I mean, if you're Sankey, you're like, look what happened to us. This could be you guys next year.
Could have easily been them this year with another loss by Indiana. They could be 3 teams in.
Oh, Indiana would have been out with another loss.
So I'm what we're going to do moving forward is a guaranteed number of Big Ten and SEC. And I think by the way this played out, I think the Big 12 and the ACC just cost themselves automatic bids, extra automatic bids. It would not surprise me when we go to 14 or 16 teams that you have 4 for the Big 10 and the SEC guaranteed, 1 for the ACC, 1 for the Big 12 guaranteed, no group of 5 guarantee, and then whether it's 14 or 16, you have 4 or 6 wild card bids for the rest of them. And if you're a group of 5 or if you're an ACC or you're Big 12 and you fall into that, then you get those extra bids. If not, you don't have a guaranteed if you're group 5. You've only got 1 guarantee if you're the ACC. You've only got 1 guarantee if you're the Big 12. And you got 4 each from the SEC and the Big 10. Regardless of record, those top 4 teams will get in there. And then the rest is up to the wild card and however they decide.
Yeah, I always thought 4 was a little much, but the more you look at it, 18 and the Big 10 and 16 and the SEC, you're going to get 4 quality teams every year.
Yeah. So, and if Greg Sankey wakes up really mad, and he and Tony Petiti decide to do this, they could go in the ACC tomorrow.
Oh yeah, you're absolutely right.
They could end the ACC tomorrow by going and saying, "Okay, I'll take these 2, you take these 2, or you take these 2, I'll take these 4. We'll both be at 20. We're done." And then it's gone. Goodbye,
That's all
ACC.
it would take. You're right.
Goodbye, ACC.
So it's fashionable to say this committee doesn't know football, but let me just say this real quick. And again, this is the way the committee is structured. This was all agreed upon. You've got athletic directors from each of the groups. You've got an SEC, an ACC, a Big 12, a Big 10, and a group of 5. Ward Manuel's obviously the Big 10. Hunter Yurachek. Arkansas is the SEC. Carla Williams. Virginia is the ACC. Mac Rhodes at Baylor is the Big 12. And David Saylor's the group of 5. He's at Miami, Ohio. Beyond that, here's your committee. And you tell me if you think these guys know football. Chris Ault. Remember him?
Oh, yeah. Nevada coach.
Nevada coach.
Long-time coach.
Yeah. Spent a lot of time where, though? Not at Power Conference. Go.
Jim Grobe.
Jim Grobe spent a lot of time not at a
Jim
Power
is not
job.
going to be impressed.
I'm just telling you.
Jim Grobe was. I mean,
he was at Wake.
He was at Wake Forest. Not
Played the
big-time
Orange
college
Bowl.
football. Not big-time college football.
Randall McDaniel, the Minnesota Viking great. I mean, you don't think he knows football?
He knows football, but he doesn't understand the structure of college athletics. That the SEC.
But wait a minute, Jim. We're talking about looking at teams and saying if they're good or not. You don't think Randall McDaniel and Chris Ault and Jim Grobe can do that?
But, I mean, can you tell if a team in the SEC is playing another SEC team is good compared to SMU or Boise playing their like opponents?
Yes. You don't think Randall McDaniel, all-pro offensive lineman for the Minnesota Vikings, could do that?
I'm going to say no. I don't think he can.
think
Because when
he
you're
can.
watching 2 like teams.
This guy was an all-pro in the NFL. You don't think he can compare teams and say,
no,
that team's...
I don't.
Are you crazy?
It's my opinion, Brown. What's next?
It's an amazing opinion to me.
Yeah. In my opinion, he watches Boise State play Boise State opponents. He can tell Boise State's good.
But
I don't think he, being not in the college athletic world, can take Boise State and compare them to playing an SEC team.
Well,
it's what you're seeing on your television screen or when you're breaking down film. It's playing like opponents, and Boise State is head and shoulders above the teams they're playing. Absolutely. But when you look at Boise State and say, okay, the grind of having to play week in and week out against SEC opponents, I don't think he can.
But you saw him against Oregon. I know it's not week in, week out.
Yeah. Okay.
I just don't know what you do for a committee then. You can't have all power 4.
There can be no committee in this.
But do you put a value in a wear and tear of having to play a certain quality opponent week in, week out, week after week after week after week?
But
it's
if
a
you're
different wear and
going
tear.
to do that, then you just need a power 4 tournament. That's it.
I think a 14-time Pro Bowler can look at Texas and Boise State and tell me which one's better.
And I do think Boise State is borderline one of the top 12 teams. I've got no problem with Boise being in this. My problem is the bye.
So you believe that if Boise State had to play Georgia's schedule this year, what would their record be?
They would be probably a 4 or 5 loss
probably
team.
8-4.
8-4.
Now, would you consider them one of the top 12 teams at that point?
I don't know. I consider South Carolina one of the top 12 teams. They got 3 losses, and they didn't have to play Georgia.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I just don't think you would. I think the eye test tells us because they keep winning these football games, oftentimes handily, it's hard to say that, man, Boise, they're probably an 8-4 team if we played like schedules in the SEC, or a 5-loss team. And Ashton Jeanty is nowhere close to the Heisman Trophy conversation if he's in the SEC.
Oh, I disagree with that.
He wouldn't have nowhere. The only reason the running back's in the conversation,
well, he
because
wouldn't have 2,000. He'd probably have 1,500 yards. I mean, he wouldn't go 125 plus every game. He'd go 100 plus every game. He would have better offensive line.
Yeah.
This guy will go in the first round, and running backs don't go in the first round.
Okay.
Gary Pinkel. Now, he coached in the SEC, so you're good with him.
Yeah. I mean, I am okay with Gary Pinkel.
Gary Pinkel's one of the best coaches.
But he was a coach, yeah.
Okay.
I go Gary Pinkel. He spent most of his time not in the SEC, though.
Mike Riley, not in the SEC, played at Alabama, played for the Bear.
Played for the Bear. He probably knows.
He's going to qualify, right?
He knows.
Yes.
Yeah.
Will Shields, one of the greatest college football players we've ever seen.
One of the great offensive linemen for Kansas City.
And then Kelly Whiteside, she's a former, they have a media member that is always on there. She was with USA Today. But
you know they got to throw female on there.
I really didn't know we had a former media person that was on there.
Yeah, I think it's every year. Yeah. I think they ought to do away with that personally. I don't know why you would put a media person on there.
Yeah, me either.
I want football people.
No, I mean, you give guys like Josh Pate $50,000.
Yeah, if you're going to do it, I do that, or do Kirk Herbstreit or somebody like Cladd or somebody like that.
Yeah, have 5 of those guys. That's all you need. You don't need 12 or whatever the number is. How many is it on the committee?
I think it's 12.
I mean, 5 is plenty.
Yeah. So we don't have a bunch of we don't have any
13.
D2, D3s like we have on the basketball committee.
No, it's all
That's good.
It's all high-end, college football people. I mean, like, I recognize most of the names.
Yeah, I do too.
The ones I didn't recognize were athletic directors, honestly.
Yeah. More reaction coming up and trash in just a second. Show being brought to you by our friends at Grace Tree Service. Tell us about Grace.
Fantastic people. That's where we start. Me and Brown have both used these guys. I did a few months ago. Brown did just a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, family owned and operated right here in Birmingham for over 20 years. Experts in high-risk tree removals, the pruning, soil health management to strengthen the trees and plants. Trusted by nearly every golf course in town at the Birmingham Zoo. No competition. Call today, 205-281-6100. Tell them the next round sent you. You can scan that QR code that Scott has put on the screen, or just visit graystree.com.
The committee, I would like to know if they moved any seating around from where they thought teams should be seated, because they were they did avoid rematches, conference on conference teams in the first round. We have no rematches, and we have no 2 conference teams playing each other in the first round. I think that's important, and I think they should be allowed to shift the seating a little bit to try to get that scenario. We will get a game rematch and a conference rematch in the quarterfinals if Ohio State's able to beat Tennessee, because they would move to play Oregon.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to avoid that long term.
Yeah.
But I'm okay avoiding it in the first round.
Look, the first round matchups don't look great on paper. The only problem I have is I really want transparency. What happened with Texas and SMU? I mean, for twofold, and I know I'm making a bigger deal out of this than most, but Clemson shouldn't have been seated behind SMU, and it was an easy, really quality in-state matchup to go SMU, Texas, and then Clemson, Penn State. You've still got those brands. And I just saw on McAfee, they did a, SeatGeek or whatever.
Right.
The tickets from the 4 first-round matchups, by far, in a way, 1,300 is the get-in right now for Indiana and Notre Dame. But one of the lower tickets was Clemson, Texas. You put SMU in that Texas game, how tough is that ticket?
Oh, yeah.
I just don't know how many fans SMU has. I know they have a lot of big, deep pocket money boosters, but when I watch their games at Gerald R. Ford Stadium,
not the president,
it is not packed usually. It's not even sold out, and it's a small stadium. And that was even with an ACC schedule this year. There were a lot of their games.
Even Eric Dickerson showed up Saturday night.
Yeah.
He was there.
Craig James was there on the home game, the last home game of the year. Craig James was on the sidelines. I I don't know how many people will travel for SMU. I know it'll be more now because bandwagon fans. You'll jump on that SMU bandwagon. I just don't know how many fans. Not that it should matter, but
not as many are going to travel to State College as they would to Austin.
Right,
I will tell you that.
Yep.
And I just think from a TV viewership purpose, I think Clemson, Texas is going to draw. SMU, I think you guys would agree. SMU Penn State is going to be the worst rated first round matchup.
The difference between, I think, 16 million people watching it if it's Alabama Penn State to probably around 10, 5, 12. It's the only game on.
I think that's fair. But
that helps that it's the only game on.
But if it was Clemson Penn State, I think you get around the 12 million number. And I don't know what Clemson Texas will be. Again, it'll be good, but it wouldn't be as good to me as if it was SMU Texas.
Yeah. No, I understand the intrigue there.
Do you believe Texas could have pushed their way out of that?
I do not. Not without, somebody leaking it to Brett McMurphy.
Yeah. It was just too obvious is the only reason. I would say, look, I'm not buying into the conspiracy, but it was too easy to put SMU as the 12 and Clemson as the 11.
Sometimes the heat and air need to, like today we're getting into the 60s. You may need the air conditioning on again. Our friends at Hemp Hill, before we talk about coaching carousel, our friends at Hemp Hill on the carousel that is your thermostat.
Yeah, 205-229-2090. That is the number you need to call. If you experience plumbing, heating, or cooling issues in your home or business, trust the name. Birmingham's trusted since 1954 for all of these issues. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com.
Not leaving, Kyle Whittingham returning to Utah, Mike Gundy with a new contract returning to Oklahoma State with Todd Grantham now being hired as his defensive coordinator, and John Summerall, even with jobs open, saying to his Tulane folks, I am not leaving. Summerall getting a new contract soon, which includes more revenue share for the players and a bigger coaching salary pool for his assistant coaches. That from those that cover Tulane and John Summerall today.
It looked like there was real interest from North Carolina for Summerall. I don't know if they think Belichick's going to get the job or if he just decided I'm going to wait it out. I don't know which.
Yeah, I think that maybe was the problem for Summerall because I think he's in a good spot. Tulane, again, if they would have won another game, there's a chance they get in. They probably do take a look at their scheduling moving forward. But when you hear Belichick's in the mix and he's very interested in this job, and rumor is his girlfriend's 2 credits shy of her degree, so that'll help her get free tuition. I'm actually making that up.
Yeah, I could tell.
But Belichick, if he's really interested in the job, you would understand why you might get, I think we all agree you'd rather have Summerall than Belichick right now, considering Belichick's never coached at the collegiate level.
100%. Whittingham coming back surprises me, but I assume that's good for Utah. And then Gundy coming back with that reworked contract. Brown, I think you told me that he was taking a $4 million haircut.
Well, interesting use of terms for him. Basically what the school said was, we'll reduce your contract, but we'll put all that money to NIL. And you could take it or leave. That was basically the deal they gave him. And at first it looked like Gundy was in a standoff, but now the two sides have met and they figured it out, and he's decided to stay.
Man,
we'll see if it works.
Been the most contentious, decade-long thing we've ever seen with a coach and a program. And it's unfortunate. Former player, I think he's done a really good job. This year was unexplainable. I have no idea. Outside of Florida State, they might be the biggest disappointment in all of football.
For it to be that contentious and last as long as it has is what's amazing.
Charles Huff leaves Marshall with a championship to play Southern Miss.
Such a weird move to go from Marshall to Southern Miss, having just won the conference championship.
Makes no sense.
But he was in the last year of his contract. They had not renewed his contract at Marshall. I didn't know that part.
So at that point, you're pissed off.
Yeah.
Don't come to me now. I'll take this other job.
That's right.
Same league. We'll do that down at Southern Miss. Tony Gibson, who was the NC State defensive coordinator, now the new head coach at Marshall. Barry Odom leaves UNLV to Purdue. Not official yet, but likely happening.
Yeah, it's very interesting because UNLV is creating a little bit of a brand. They didn't have their best performance. They just couldn't do anything in the red zone on Friday night against Boise. But I brought this up when you were like, I wouldn't take Purdue. And I was like, well, look, Indiana, look what Cignetti's done. And Purdue's got much better history than Indiana football. I don't know. This was one of those that maybe if you're Odom, you stay. You're obviously going to get more money going to Purdue.
Where did Odom go to college?
Wasn't he a Missouri guy?
I don't remember.
He was at Missouri with Pinkel and then took over there and was very average. He's done a great job at UNLV. While Brown looks that up, Scott Frost back at UCF, he said when you're climbing the corporate ladder, somebody forgets to tell you to stop climbing when you find a place you're happy.
It's a good thing to actually say out loud. I don't have a problem with this at all. Scott Frost at UCF was a really, really good marriage.
And it worked. It worked. And
I'm
he says
so
he was
much
happy.
more excited than I was, obviously, with Gus there. I mean, it is
Oh, if I'm a
breath
Central
of fresh
Florida
air.
fan, here we
Yeah.
go. Let's get this. Let's hope that you really are appreciative that we've given you another opportunity. And I think he will be. And I think, Scott Frost, there were other things going on in Lincoln. I think maybe his his attention was taken, and maybe now you've got refocused. So
It can hurt you at work,
Yeah.
man, for
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
And then you had a lot going on being a very good alum back there at that school. Doesn't always work out when you go back there. Brownie, did you get a Barry Odom
Yeah,
answer?
he's Missouri. I thought I remembered him playing at Missouri.
So he played at Missouri.
Yeah, that's what made it tricky with him because he was one of their own, and he tried to follow their legend, Gary Pinkel.
And then Brian Harsin is on his way back into coaching as an offensive coordinator at Cal, former Auburn and Boise State head coach. Rumored at Utah State, they went with Bronco Mendenhall, who we all agree is a good coach. Should never have left and gone to Virginia.
So weird to stay at BYU.
I know.
He has been on the weirdest coaching journey, and I don't know what's behind the scenes on that. But there's obviously a relationship between Harsin and Wilcox from their Boise days. I mean, I wouldn't be excited about this, but
yeah,
he's
got a lot of money. See his willingness to work turns out, but he's back in coaching.
Just wish it would have happened last year, where you could have seen Harsin back down to Jordan-Hare.
Yeah, and they don't even get the return game either. But that's where Brian Harsin is now. All right, when we come back, trash and then more. All the Alabama players hitting the portal. I haven't touched on that today. If somebody can get me a list. And it's going to be a very active portal. When we come back, I'll give you time to think about this in the commercial break, okay? But here's the quote from Kalen DeBoer last night. Kalen DeBoer, he says, "I appreciate the unselfish attitude of the Alabama receivers amid limited production in 2024. Quote, I think they're aware that just our style this year, it was all about whatever it took to win, end quote. I think that's his way of saying we played an offensive style that we will not play in the future because of the quarterback we inherited, who is such a talented athlete. Your thoughts on that comment and trash when we come back. The show being brought to you by our wonderful friends at New York Butcher Shop.
New York Butcher Shop, great place to stop in, order one of those huge deli sandwiches. But also remember, you've got Christmas right around the corner. You want to pre-order your meal. Our man Jim and the fine folks there, they can handle it. The finest selection of age-certified Angus prime beef tenderloins, prime rib roast, the premium Duroc pork rib, the crown roast, also the Applewood smoked spiral sliced hams, Japanese certified A5, Wagyu fillets, other cuts. They got a great selection of fine wines. You also get discounts, half case 10%, full case 15% off. Great desserts like that New York style cheesecake, key lime pies, famous banana breads, one-stop dinner shop. Go see Jim, the great staff, 2 locations, Cahaba Heights, Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
Follow Brownie on Twitter and Instagram at ryanbrownlive.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
Buying that perfect home is one of the most important financial decisions you'll ever make, so it's crucial that you have the right partner to help you through the process. Hi, I'm Lisa Zeig, Vice President Mortgage Loan Officer for Bryant Bank, and I'm here to tell you that we are that partner, making it easy to buy with confidence. We offer a variety of mortgage products to fit your unique home buying situation. That kind of hassle-free approach might not be what you'd expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give me a call today or visit one of our 18 offices across the state of Alabama and let me show you what banking beyond expectation is all about.
Man, I love a good meal. I'm Jim Dunaway. A good meal is what you get with my friend Sterling at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster. We're talking great southern fried chicken, wonderful sides, hand-cut chicken fingers, po' boys, and those Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. You got a perfect menu for everybody. Champy's Chicken is perfect for watching the big game, or taking a meal to the lake house, down to the coast, or stay in the restaurant and dine in a great atmosphere. It's all made fresh to order right there on 119 in Alabaster, Champy's Chicken. If renting is putting a dent in your bank account, here's your sign from the universe that it's time to buy a new home. And who better to help you through the ins and outs of home buying than our friends at Mortgage Right. With Mortgage Right, you don't have to worry about becoming a short notice mortgage expert because they do all the heavy lifting for you. They're trusted mortgage professionals, and they'll help you choose the right mortgage option and stand by your side every step of the way. Visit mortgageright.com/TNR to buy before renting runs you dry. That's mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
Hey, you. It's the holidays. Give cheer a lift. And at New Balance Birmingham, we got the gift. That holiday vibe? Find it inside. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
At Academy Sports and Outdoors, we believe the best holiday fun happens out there. On the driveway with a new basketball hoop, out back around the fire pit, or up in the deer stand. No matter your fun, we've got it. The right stuff at the right price. Academy. Have fun out there.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Back with you on The Next Round. An amazing game over in Atlanta. We were excited to be there to see, without Carson Beck, Georgia come back to win that contest. For a lot of SEC fans, I do believe they were cheering for Kirby and Georgia, old school, to not let Texas come in the first year and take that trophy back to Texas with them in year number 1. Biggest boos of the day happened in the fourth quarter when the Texas fans, during their Texas fight, their pep fight song, started moving a big, huge Texas flag throughout the stands, and boos were coming from the Georgia section there. And it became very much old school SEC. Georgia now potentially playing the playoffs without Carson Beck. Here's Kirby Smart's talk about what they would have to be without Carson.
I certainly think, there's no good script, right, for losing a quarterback or having to go to your backup. There's not a great script for it. It certainly wasn't a great script last night to have to do it against the #1 team in the country on defense, and have to do that at halftime was tough. But this situation does give you time if that's what has to happen. There is time there, but experience is so valuable. And you can't really get experience in this amount of time. I wish he'd gotten more game experience up to this point in time. There's not a lot we can do about that right now. So we're just waiting to find out more information.
Are you surprised their odds haven't moved a little more? They're still the second favorite right now. And what's starting to emerge about Beck, best case, he's fighting injury. Worst case, he doesn't even play in this playoffs.
They'll move definitely once that gets in concrete. But right now, I mean, if you're some of these books, hey, look, we don't want any liability on Georgia. Let's keep it until we find out for sure.
Yeah, I mean, they're right now. Oregon is plus 340 at MyBookie, and Georgia's plus 360. They're almost co-favorites.
And then Texas is right there.
Yeah, plus 380. So almost three-way co-favorites there.
Our show being brought to you by our friends at Storm Restoration Roofing. That's Greg from Pell City. He and his wife Andrea, they own the company, locally owned for over 20 years. We know how important to all of you guys being local is. Local. That's what he is. Locally owned. His crews are local, run by his son-in-law, family members on each crew. And Greg will give you a free inspection, a free no-cost roof inspection. Just call his number, 205-542-3531, or look him up on Facebook, Greg from Pell City. That's actually Greg's cell number if you want to call him up, 205-542-3531. Free no-cost roof inspection, A-plus rated with the Better Business Bureau. It's Storm Restoration Roofing. They handle all your roofing needs there. Kalen DeBoer's quote, I gave it to you before the break. Very thankful the receivers understand that they didn't have as many targets as they normally would in a Kalen DeBoer offense. I think he's doing two things. He's fighting the portal. Don't want these great receivers to leave, particularly Ryan Williams. And two, he's letting everyone know that I ran this system because of Jalen Milroe. Starting next year, it's a different system.
Well, I mean, outside of Ryan Williams and Jeremy Bernard, and they did a good job of tight end by committee starting to target those guys. But if you're Kobe Prentice and you're Kendrick Law, I mean, those guys got no targets.
Caleb Odom, yeah.
Kobe Prentice, 11 grabs this year. I mean, it just seemed like Kendrick Law was never involved in the offense.
Yeah, Kendrick Law, I hate to say this about him, seems like he got involved. I mean, the personal foul against Tennessee was just inexcusable. It just seemed like there was no connect for him in this staff.
Yeah. So the portal, Law is one of those guys that are hitting the portal. Kobe Prentice is one of those guys hitting the portal. We'll see about anyone else for Alabama. It's been a big portal day. Some departures the last couple of days once Alabama found out they were not part of the college football playoffs. Every day at this time, we get away from the sports headlines. We ask Tyler to spin the wheel over there and give us an open for trash. Hit it, Tyler.
So, what was your inspiration for tonight? Be honest with me and go into detail.
Wow. LT's Trash is presented by Mortgage Right. Mortgages done the right way.
Hey, before you know it, we'll be back into spring. It'll be buying season again. Mortgage Right here to help. Veteran founded here in Birmingham. Offer loans throughout the country while the area they serve may have grown. Their commitment to Birmingham and veterans has not changed. Before you take the next steps on a new home purchase or refinance, talk with the team at Mortgage Right. There is no cost or obligation to find out what you qualify for. You get more information, go to their website, mortgageright.com/TNR. Call that Highway 280 office, 205-900-7200, NMLS 2239, equal housing lender.
Hey, one developing story, On3 Sports has predicted Mississippi State to land Oklahoma transfer Jackson Arnold, reunited with Levy. That coming from On3 Sports now.
This is big news. I don't know what that means for Michael Van Buren. I guess he'll be in the portal. But this is great news for Mississippi State fans.
Yeah, no doubt. He and Levy obviously had a good connection at Oklahoma.
Yeah.
PETA back in the news. They plan to protest an upcoming screening of Robert Eggers' Nosferatu over the use of live rats in the film's production, a suggestion that the rats did not cause the bubonic plague. Quote, a human is no more likely to be harmed or killed by a rat in real life than by a vampire, and false portrayals of these animals as harbingers of death deny viewers a chance to see them as intelligent, social, and affectionate individuals they are. PETA says this in a story.
So wait.
A rat can't kill you.
So PETA is fighting for rats now.
Yeah.
They're animals.
They think Nosferatu's giving them a bad name.
Oh, yeah? Giving rats a bad name?
Starting the bubonic
Well,
plague.
isn't it pretty well accepted that the rats did start the bubonic plague?
Yeah, but
They absolutely did.
did they give Ratatouille the thumbs up then? Because it gave rats a good name.
Well, he was a hero.
Oh, yeah. He was a talented rat.
Yeah, he saved dinner.
Yeah, it was Fleas on Rats. Remember we played that great song that they did off of Hollerback Girl?
Yeah.
Now, quote, the only pests moviegoers need to be concerned with are directors who subject animals to the chaos and confusion of a film set. And PETA encourages everyone to see through these shameful stereotypes and give rats the respect they deserve. PETA went on to say rats form close bonds with their families and friends, enjoying playing and wrestling, and even giggle when they're tickled. Who tickles a rat?
I know some people with pet rats.
You know people with pet rats?
Yeah.
Not mice, Tyler, rats.
Tyler, I always even knew you were a little
large.
off, but now this confirms that if you've got friends that have pet rats.
Why would they have pet rats? What's wrong with them?
They really they just really like them. I don't know why.
That's a dumb thing to like.
Yeah.
I mean,
PETA
no offense
is
to your
actually
friends.
protesting in front of theaters. They've got a giant rat that will be protesting for them. That it carries a sign that says "Rats have rights. We didn't cause the plague."
I would say this: they should pick their, and not to do PR for PETA, they should pick their fights. This is not one they should be fighting for.
I think they take every fight just to stay in the news.
Yeah.
Yep.
How many cases a year of bubonic plague do you think there are right now?
I would say almost zero.
No, I'm going to say there's a lot more than you think.
650.
Yeah.
Damn, that's something you don't want to get.
If you went to the
world
doctor,
or the U.S.?
I think it's in the world.
Yeah.
10% mortality with treatment. But I mean, if you went to the doctor, like I sound pretty bad right now. And he's like, Ryan, we've run tests. You've got the bubonic plague.
Well, it's going to change the dynamic of all of us.
Yeah, I mean, y'all are going to be super worried.
I
right?
am going to flip out.
Yeah, Brown came to work with the bubonic plague.
But I think
COVID's one thing.
Yeah, I know.
From when the plague happened, and today we've invented a lot
we've got
of
new medicine.
Yeah, new medicine. Yeah,
one of them being penicillin. That helped a lot.
Well, that's right.
I guess they don't call it Black Death anymore, right?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
The old Black Hand of Death. What was that from? That was from Peaky Blinders.
I think I saw one recently. I saw there was one in Seattle, I think.
A bubonic plague?
Yeah.
Well, everything's in Seattle now.
Well, keep that up there.
Okay, so have you guys ever had a bad experience with Uber or Lyft?
Oh, Jim did. Tell the story in Atlanta, Dunaway.
So Brown got us to Uber to eat at the steakhouse.
That's right.
By the way, the steaks we had, Brown could have prepared a lot better.
Little Alley's?
Okay, go ahead and shout it out.
Disappointed with the restaurant?
Yeah, Jim was disappointed with the restaurant.
Hey, look, I guarantee you paid for it, so it's a bad steak, it's a bad steak.
To Jim's defense, I was too.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So this wasn't only a Dunaway.
So then I'm getting the Uber back. I'd volunteered to get the Uber back, truthfully, because I thought Mikey would be riding back for a cocktail or something near our hotel. So I thought, I'm going to get one to Brownie here, let him pay for the Uber out, and then really I'd be riding in the back seat of Mikey's car, E.G.'s boyfriend, on the way back. But Mikey had other plans and was going a different direction, so I had to get the Uber. So I was going to spare no expense, so I went Uber Black. I had us a nice Suburban coming for the three of us to ride back to the hotel from Buckhead. And, it's cold outside, so we're waiting under the lamp. All of a sudden, it shows up that he has shown up and he has left. And I'm like, God, where is this guy? Where is this guy? So I go and try to get another Uber, and it won't let me get another Uber because my route's in process. And it shows him driving towards, with my $65 charge, driving towards our hotel. And I'm texting him, and I'm like, I'm not in the car, and it shows I'm in the car.
Let me guess, they charged you too, right?
100%.
I had to challenge it. Yeah, I had to challenge it.
Did you get it back yet?
So I have to check.
Yeah.
But I texted him, and to his defense, he called me, and I'm like, I'm not in your car. Is there anybody in the car? And he's like, I'm on my way to pick you up. And I'm like, no, you're not. I'm watching you now. You're heading towards my hotel. And then he was like, are you not at the hotel? And I was like, EG's like, you're getting scammed.
Yeah, it seems scammy to me. Like he just went ahead and ran the route without us in there.
Okay, there is a scam that I'm about to get to from Lyft. I've actually been picked up. Guy couldn't speak English, and I was not his fare.
Yeah,
Took me to the completely wrong place.
That's what I thought happened, but then he said, I'm on my way to pick you up.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, you're not. You're going away from me, actually.
You might say, and I'm just reading here, Tammy Whitmer was, quote, taken for a ride after the literal ride.
It's well written.
Whitmer said her ride with a Lyft driver to Harrisburg International Airport began and it ended eventually, uneventfully, like any other Uber or Lyft ride she had taken. She boarded her short flight to Philadelphia. That's where, waiting for her connecting flight, she realized something was wrong. Series of messages from Lyft saying that her driver indicated, quote, a cleaning fee is needed after her ride to the airport and she would be charged $40. She thought, my gosh, I walked through the grass, but there's something on my shoes. She looked at the bottom of her shoes, completely clean. Lyft followed it up with photos, which Whitmer showed to ABC 27 News, of what she said appeared to be long dried stains on the car's rear seat. Another photo showed a sign hanging on the back of the front seat, which she said wasn't there during her ride. She went on to say, so I don't know if this guy does this continuously and sends these same pictures in, Whitmer said she shared her story on social media because, quote, a lot of my friends also travel for work, so I wanted to make sure people knew about this. Friend actually commented on it, sent me a link indicating apparently this is a popular scam that goes on. Now, the story gave advice for fighting the fees, including asking for a copy of the driver's detailed report. She went on to say what they told me was that the driver stated that if I had a child with me, the child urinated on the seats. So apparently I have an imaginary child with me. So I immediately responded that I was single, a single rider. There was nobody with me. They were like, well, the driver verified that you had a kid with you.
That peed on the seats.
The decision, a Lyft agent said in a text message, was final. Quote, we will be unable to make any further adjustments to this fee. Whitmer showed the messages to ABC 27 News, which contacted Lyft. Whitmer said she heard again from Lyft that they reviewed her case and were refunding the $40 cleaning fee as well as the regular cost of the ride.
I mean,
I probably should pay more attention to charges.
Yeah.
It's amazing some of the scams out there.
It really is. Again, we always say if you would just try this hard at getting a job, you'd probably have a good job.
We're going to close with not one, but two Florida man stories. The first, Florida man told police he doesn't remember breaking into a Winter Haven home wearing only a shirt because he was on drugs.
Just a shirt, no pants.
That's it. Police.
Shirt, no pants.
That's the weird.
Significantly more disturbing than pants, no shirt.
Yeah. So he's shirt, no
absolutely,
pants. Yeah. We call that a Donald Duck. So he's pulling a Donald
That's
Duck.
right, yeah.
Winnie the Pooh.
Shirt, no pants.
There is our man right there. Police say residents inside of a home on 6th Street in Winter Haven were awakened shortly after 1:30 a.m. by a loud bang on the front door. When they went to investigate, police say 23-year-old Austin Smith was in the living room, appearing to be wearing only a shirt with no pants or shoes. He also had the victim's carpet cleaner in his hand.
Carpet cleaner.
According to the Winter Haven Police Department, the resident yelled at Smith, who immediately ran out of the house, dropped the carpet cleaner. Officers said they found Smith walking down an avenue.
Well, if he's going to clean my house, let's slow roll it a little bit.
I'm not going to run him out just yet.
If he's going to do the carpets, I think my wife and I would both agree we'll look the other direction.
Tell me how terrified you're going to be. He actually broke into the home at 1:30 a.m. by kicking in the front door.
Yeah, I mean, I'd prefer the carpet cleaning be done during the day.
Now, Smith told officers he didn't recall what he was doing because he was high on meth.
I can look at his eyes and tell you.
Yeah. I would, two things. I think he looks like a guy that Melton replaced on a broadcast team.
Interesting.
True or not true? Melton, can you see the screen?
I can see the screen.
Can you see the resemblance?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay, so Melton agrees.
Okay. And two, if you don't have any pants on, that allows you to raise your leg higher to help you kick that door in, I think. If you
no resistance?
Yeah, if you've got the blue jeans on,
I don't want to see the Ring doorbell video.
Yeah, no, let's delete that one right away.
Finally, one Florida man has set himself miles, or rather feet, apart from his neighbors this holiday season by constructing a massive replica of a classic Christmas film.
My gosh.
Wow.
J.P. Milichik combined his love for Christmas decorating in the beloved 1983 movie A Christmas Story. I think it's so overrated.
Yeah.
By creating a life-size version of one of the most memorable moments of the film in the front yard of his Neptune Beach home. Quote, you're looking at an exact scale replica of the leg lamp from A Christmas Story, JP told WJXT. It is 420% bigger than the one that appears in the movie, so it's 20 feet tall. Explaining how he came up with the impressive holiday display idea, JP said a restless night's sleep fueled his creative juices. Quote, I thought it would be fun to have a neighborhood competition. Who could have the best Christmas decorations? He said he had a, quote, epiphany to create the replica, which also features the movie's central character, Ralphie, hugging the lamp while wearing his iconic pink bunny suit. JP revealed that he used a half mile of 14-inch fringe and golf netting to nail the look.
See, at this point, I think PETA should be helping that rabbit. He gives rabbits a bad name at this point. So PETA should be protesting this display, in my opinion.
So go back to the first photo if you can, Tyler. So this guy's your neighbor.
Yes.
What day on the calendar, if he doesn't have it all down, do you say something?
December 26th.
Okay, day after Christmas.
Yeah. For me, it would have been November 1st.
Right, as soon as it started going up.
As soon as they started going up. Now, what is that, an oil derrick you're building there, Derek?
Here's the problem.
Is this on my property?
I appreciate the passion.
Right.
But the problem now becomes how many cars are going to be driving by and jamming up your street.
That's right. Yeah. It's a problem.
At least I know where I'm throwing my dog poop bags after my dogs poop on the walk in the neighborhood. I'm throwing it right in his yard.
He's got that nice AstroTurf in the grass.
He does. He does.
I'm sending it right at him.
That just looks like a lot. That's what I would call really junky.
A little trashed up. Yep.
And I would get Greg from Pell City up on his roof.
Yeah,
it looks like an
he got
old
issues.
roof.
Yeah, I think you've got a tarp
I
up there,
think
don't
that's
we?
a shadow, though.
No, I
But
was
he
looking
does-
at
It's got some rocks or something up there.
Yeah, I think it's Santa's sleigh up at the top, Brown.
it's that old school flat roof right there.
Yeah, that can cause a leak or two.
That's
Does
right.
that ladder say fragile must be Italian?
Yeah, Fragile must be Italian. That's the line from the movie you don't like.
Okay.
I'm with you. I'm not crazy about that movie.
That is Trash, brought to you by our friends at Mortgage Right.
Hey, if you're looking for a new home, our friends at Mortgage Right here to help. Whether you're a first-time buyer, seasoned home buying veteran, their great service and low rates make the process easy. Speaking of veterans, veteran founded right here in Birmingham. So remember, whether you're looking for your final home, your first home, whether you have a big down payment or need 100% financing, Mortgage Right, one-stop shop for mortgages. Visit them online, mortgageright.com. Call 205-900-7200.
And final thoughts from everything we saw this weekend, brought to you by our friends at Champy's Chicken. They bring you the final hour of the show every day. They have since day one. Sterling and the crew right there on Highway 119. We appreciate them so much. If you got outsiders coming in town for the holidays, let's say you got some people coming from Illinois, Minnesota, Montana,
Michigan,
New York,
Big Ten
Michigan.
people?
Yeah, people that aren't used to great Southern fried chicken. And you can't really cook great Southern fried chicken at home because your grandmother forgot to give you the recipe. You want the real good stuff? You go to Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster. Sterling brines it overnight. He cooks it to order so it comes out piping hot. All the great sides, plus the great appetizer, the Mississippi Delta recipe tamales, the best style of tamales. You get all that at Champy's Chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster. Some thoughts on the weekend. Let's get away from football. We'll save that for the last. First in the NFL, big win for your Rams over the Bills.
It was the best quarterback matchup in the regular season I've ever seen, as far as the way both of them played.
You remember that game you guys had against the
Kansas
Chiefs?
City, yeah.
On that Monday night.
That was golf against Mahomes. That was a great game too, and that was en route to the Rams getting to the Super Bowl. Kansas City came up short. AFC Championship game. I had a buddy text me yesterday. He's like, he's a Bills guy. Boy, I hope I see you guys again. I was like, first of all, I don't think we're going to be in the Super Bowl. If they play like they did yesterday, possibly, but I don't want to see the Bills again. That Josh Allen kid, I don't like him, but he is unbelievable.
Yeah, as I told you, try seeing him twice a year. I've had to do it for years.
But it
now.
took 11 of 15 on third downs for the Rams. It took 0 turnovers, and it took 1 legitimate punt.
Dolphins keep their playoff hopes alive with a win over the Jets in overtime.
Yeah, they probably have to win out realistically, which is not impossible, but it's going to be very difficult to do.
Jets become, this is their 14th consecutive season that they'll have a losing record. Can you guess in any other professional sports in America, the second longest consecutive losing seasons?
Current or all time?
This franchise used to be really good. All 4 major sports.
It's current.
Current, yeah.
The Maple Leafs or the Canadiens, one of the two?
It is not. It is the Buffalo Sabres.
The Sabres?
Used to be really good. They're now 13 consecutive losing seasons.
Yeah, it's amazing with the Jets, and you do wonder, what do they do with Aaron Rodgers now? Like, I don't know what his future is there. Do you keep playing him when you're
not
out of
in
the
New
playoff?
York? It'll be up to wherever he ends up going. My Buccaneers win. Falcons lose. Sorry, Forster. Even though you beat us twice, you're now in second place.
He's used to it.
It's Penix time, by the way.
If it was college football, by the way, you'd be ranked higher than me because you beat me twice, but it's not. It's the NFL. You get the Bengals and the Cowboys tonight, 7:15 on ABC. Final 90 seconds. One more thought on what we saw with the college football playoff rankings.
Again, I think you've got to do a better job manipulating the first-round matchups. I can't understand how Clemson is ranked behind a team they just beat in SMU.
I think this is the history of college football. We develop something new. When it happens, we realize how bad we really screwed it up, so then we start making changes. This is the first iteration. There'll be changes. This will be better in several years.
I would say in the next 6 months, listen to what Greg Sankey says. I think the other conferences, not the SEC and the Big Ten, probably hurt their future exposure to the playoffs by only having 3 SEC teams in this thing. Greg Sankey's about to swing a big stick down the road. Watch it happen. And that's our show today. Show number 845. Thanks for being a part of it. We're back with you tomorrow at 9 a.m. Central Time. Stay tuned on all of our social media platforms. A lot of action, a lot of reaction going on out there for the next 24 hours. Until next time, God bless you. God bless America.